Hi, everyone, and welcome to A Gem of a Secret podcast. My name is Donna Telling My Secrets.
And my name is Coco Gem Holiday.
How you doing tonight, Coco?
I'm doing a little bit loose, just because I wanted to use that term in a sentence. It's the word of the day.
I wish you wouldn't.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, gosh. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yeah. Happy Thursday. All right. Well, Coco, I'm super excited because after a while of not having a guest on our podcast, we have one of the most dynamic entertainers here in Portland, Miss Nay-Nay Leakes Cartier. Nay-Nay, how you doing tonight?
Hey! What's up? What's the tea?
We're excited to have you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes, we are so excited to interview you because you started a podcast recently that has me in stitches, specifically because you say whatever the hell you want to, and it's always so comedic. And I know it's funny thing, I know some of it's intentional and I know some of it's not, but I'm just like, I'm rolling the whole time. And so we wanted to bring you on so we could talk about, you and your podcast and like what's going on in your life.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I always say, in a sitcom, there's like the main person who's like the pretty one. And they're always pretty, but they have a messed up love life for some reason. Or like, there's always something like stupidly wrong with them. I'm not them. The sassy coworker who's like maybe like the gay one or the like obnoxious. That's me. That always like has that like even in a time of sorrow, while the tears and mascara are dripping down my eyes, I could say, I kind of feel like I'm in an Adele music video. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm that person, like the Kathy Griffin.
I love it. I love it.
Goodness.
So where did you get the idea to start doing a podcast along this quarantine?
A bitch was bored.
T.
I was bored, but I was also fearful of going like out and stuff. And I felt like quarantine happened at the same time as our country was just being torn apart in many different ways.
Absolutely.
And I think it's because we don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to talk with each other anymore. And so I had known Thomas peripherally, and we were friendly and we were acquaintances because he works at the club as well. And I noticed he had a podcast, and he had a very strong opinion, but he had compassion, even though he was like wrong in his opinion. And I at times appear wrong to others. To me,
sure.
that is to be determined. But I wanted to bring back the conversation. We have much more in common than we have in different. Who knew? Everybody's just a hoe. Not just me,
T. Oh, we are all combined by sex. We all got here by sex.
Right? And now we're all straight people, gay people, non this, all that. Like everybody's making their own rules these days, which I think is fantastic. But I think what we have to do is, as we're making these own new rules, is remember, judge not lest ye be judged.
Right. And that's a thin line between gay and straight, right?
A thin line between gay and straight, yes.
I love that.
Yeah. With producer and co-star Thomas, and he is literally he's a 40-year-old, very handsome.
He's 40? Girl.
Right? That's good moisturizer.
He's straight.
Now you see why I gotta wear foundation every episode. I got to, because they thought I was the 40-year-old. He was a 30-year-old. He's a 40-year-old father of 5, identifies as straight.
Father of 5?
Worker, and I am a 30-year-old baby's mother, side chick of none.
Side chick of none. Can I put that as a memoir?
So we and I'm black and he's white, but he grew up in a very urban environment. I grew up in mixed environments, and we're all and I think that what I come to realize is everybody is a mess.
Oh,
everybody's a mess, and it's just we're all playing a game of who's covering the best.
Oof, that is man, I'm going to have to unpack that later with my therapist.
Yeah,
wedding cake.
A mess.
It's like a styrofoam wedding cake. It looks so pretty on the outside. You go to cut it, you can't eat that. Everybody is a styrofoam or a crumble or a burnt cake. Who has the prettiest frosting though?
Oh, T. Oh, wow. Oh, you heard it here, listeners.
Yeah.
Seriously. So let's get into your drag history, because we're a drag related podcast. Let's get into your drag history. So what got you into drag? And then also tell us what it's like working at Darcel's. So obviously we know a lot of the girls that work at Darcel's and things like that, but we haven't had really in-depth conversations with what it's like to be a cast member there, working several nights a week, and like being at the bigger shows and the costumes, and what that experience is like to have your own table and all that good stuff. So yeah, how'd you get into drag, and tell us what it's like working at Darcel's.
I got into drag because I got tired of the entitled gays not moving out of my way when I was hosting at Stag as a boy. Or as a what I call a creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I would watch Godiva walk through the seas were part.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch even like some like busted drag queens walk through the seas will part. You got on a pair of heels and a half a lash, the seas gonna part at a gay bar for you. But me and my fatso and my questionable fashions that I call haute couture that the people can't even spell, they were not checking for me. Like they would check for me, but nah, I had to like. It's like, okay, who do I got to blow to get through this fucking club right now?
For real.
And everybody would be like, oh, no, I'm about, like, it's like, well, in this city, it's like, no, not I. It's like, oh, we're all doing the same thing. Blowing to try and get through the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Running out of people to blow. So I was itching to do it. And then the opportunity came because Alexis and I, we never wanted to, like, miss money. And because, a gig is a gig, and, so she was going out of town and she hosted like twice. So she did a brunch show, Testify, which I helped from the beginning with Testify. And that kind of like, that was my saving grace because it was a gospel themed show. And my favorite music is gospel music. I may be a hoe, I may curse like a sailor, but God, he orders every footstep. And he is with me each way, and I'm singing Mahalia Jackson and Aretha Franklin's Amazing Grace on the way there.
Yes,
I might sing Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion on the way back, but we won't.
So, correctly doing church.
Yeah, like, okay. Hold on, Jesus.
Hold on, Jesus.
And I felt a connection to Testify, and like Alexis and I didn't grow up together or anything. We honestly didn't start hanging out or not, shoulder shading each other in the club until Stag. Because
really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, when Stag was opening, I actually had a really nice retail management position. I was not checking to be working at no club. I was not trying to be, that girl. I had that, and then I had a side hustle. A nighttime. When the nighttime is the right time and your hours is 24. No.
God.
No, I wasn't a hoe. Well,
well, like maybe getting money sometimes.
That was by choice. That was for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Equal opportunity.
Same girl.
Right, okay, look, it's hard in these streets. You meet a top, you better not ask to charge them. You better get you don't have time to be charging these tops. There's 3 left in Portland, okay?
There's 3 left.
One of them is versatile, so he got 2 more weeks.
Jesus.
So so back to church. Jesus. Okay. So yeah, Testify. Alexis is going out of town, and she was like, "Oh, why don't you host brunch and I'll host your weeknight?" And I was like, "Okay, how am I host?" Oh, and then I was like, "I don't know, girl." So before that happened, it was La Femme, and the DJ Jordan he was going to New Orleans. So Alexis and I, we planned, and I was like, okay, girl, DJ Fashions is going to come. Nay-Nay is going to bust through the doors. She going to be there at brunch, but I'm not performing. Because I was like, oh, what if I'm ugly? What if I don't like to make, like, I don't know. I'm only buying one dress, one outfit. They don't have shoes in my size. So I literally spent weeks planning this grand, fabulous outfit. Ended up wearing a black stretch jumpsuit and church shoes. But you could not tell me I was not wearing Dior haute couture. You could not tell me. And the wig was a bob. Ooh.
Oh gosh.
That's why they call you Bob. It was
not
like
Bob.
It was this part, and I looked like my mom.
Oh.
I looked like my mom, which is not a bad thing. My mom's very pretty, but I in the mirror, I was like, oh my God, like the bob. Ooh! But then the church shoes, it was like, oh. I went to La Femme that year, and that was in 2015. And I remember that night I said, oh, I'll never do drag again. I'm over it, because my skin, what turned out to be, I developed folliculitis just from the shaving. And I didn't really know how to touch up. So when the girls was like, let's go touch up in the bathroom, girl, I was taking this powder puff and I was just smacking it. I couldn't know what it was. Because I only wore boy makeup. I wore
oh gosh.
I wore Laura Mercier, the little the lotion cream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is like different. Why am I beating this? Then I got in a fight with this other drag queen. It was like, so La Femme was the first time, but I like wanted to get good, and I would start like, I wasn't getting paid to do drag at Stag. I was getting paid as a boy still, which was less than the drag queen. But I was like, bitch, I'm gonna get good at this. I'm gonna get good at this makeup. I can slay the fashions. I just gotta get good at wearing Spanx, because I don't like them. They're very tight, very uncomfortable. I could walk in the heels. That wasn't an issue. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna get good at this. 1 year later, I went back to La Femme and I won the preliminary in July for Oregon to represent Plus, which I was shocked. I won by 3 points. Everyone was crying. The Miss Pinata's team, they were cheering Pinata, and I was like, I don't give a fuck, girl. Like, it was like, oh. And I think what it was I never felt I like the attractive one of my mom's 3 kids. I always felt like, oh, I'm the big one. The one that likes to eat, the one that's always in grown folks' conversation, the one that's always getting suspended from school, one that's always talking back. But I was never the athlete, never the beauty, but I was like, oh my God, I'm the pretty one. And so I think that it was that. Oh, that's what drew me to it. Mm-hmm. But pretty gets old quick. So then that's where I had to bring back in my slick talk mouth, because I kind of like tamed it for a while, and it was just like, it was cute, but it was cute and Christian, and it was like always tested. Like, I would go to the club and perform Encourage Yourself. Because I literally thought like, oh, this is just, I'm not I can't be secular, and I got over that very quick. You get fucked in drag one time, you'll lose that inhibition. You will lose that. So yeah, that's
my gosh, I love
hosting a Stag, and then like the store that I worked at closed, and so I had just had a conversation about how I was gonna quit drag because I thought it was like ruining my retail career, and I don't want to,
Oh geez.
So, but then I changed my tune quickly. Like, well, girl, I guess I got to go buy some dresses and some heels. And some this is what we got, and Stag really did help nurture me, and being able to guest at Darcel's whenever, and being the go-to fill-in for the girls as La Femme. That was like, to me, one of the best prizes of La Femme, because it's kind of like an unknown, like when you win La Femme, you get to guest whenever you want at the club.
I didn't know that.
Because it's not like a spoken of prize, but it's kind of like a thing where like you're in the family now. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get in the family, like in the family, and that was always my goal, because I love like production shows. Green Girls,
the cabaret style.
Yes, because you know why, you learn one show and you do it you better, let's do these, and even you just make it different for you every time, or the same. Get your coins.
You know what works.
Yeah, and you learn what works and what doesn't, and you laugh it off, because tomorrow's a new day. And if tomorrow doesn't come, you've had enough good days to say, what a life,
I have to honestly say, though, for you, because, like, here's what I really gets disappointed in that top 40 drag scene, is that, it seems like a producer wants the cast to change it up every single time, but there are certain numbers across the city that I've seen certain people do that I just love, and I love whenever they pull it out. It's not, for me, it's like, oh, I've seen this before, they don't get $1. It's like, oh, I love when they do
their
this.
Signature.
I'm gonna give them more money because I'm seeing. It's like listening to your favorite Beyonce song, being like, oh God, I love this song,
and like, never gonna get old,
and it's never gonna get old. And it's your Whitney Houston mix for me, girl.
Oh,
like, oh, good heavens, I get my life on that.
Alexis hears this, girl. So I'll be honest, that mix is actually Jade Nova is singing. And I think they should have chose Jade Nova to play Whitney Houston in that terrible Lifetime movie that they did. It was the wigs for me. It was the wigs. And then y'all, you can tell she's never done cocaine. So, and with a name like Jade Nova, you better have, did do that a little something,
I know. I mean, I've never tried cocaine, but like, I feel like.
Oh, I know.
Whatever.
You like that? I was like, wow, you like the only Portland drag queen like to say. I'm just kidding.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Oh, heavens.
So the Whitney mix, here's how it. I had heard the mix before because our friend Zach, he is always on his phone listening to music on YouTube, and y'all know he's a singer. And he had sent the mix, and he was like, "Oh, this is what I'm doing at Cars," because every year the squad would do Cars, like we do it every season, and we all get dip and do it and stuff. So he had done this mix, and Alexis was like, "Bitch, I'm doing that at the club," and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna do it at Stag," and she was like, "No, don't do it at Stag, because I'm gonna do it at Stag during brunch," and I was like, "You can't call every good like we would." You can't call every good. And she was like, "You can't. You doing my Whitney?" I'd be like, "Carisha, that is not your Whitney. That is YouTube's Whitney."
That is YouTube's Whitney.
So then I started to book, like I would book something on the East Side. So I would, girl, here goes my Whitney. Or I would book like Club Kai Kai. Oh, here goes Whitney, girl. Because I really do. I relate to Whitney Houston a lot. I love, my favorite movie is The Preacher's Wife. One of my favorite movies.
Yes.
And I just love how she was falling in love with an angel. While still being preachers, you know what I mean? Because life still happens, even though you can be as close to God as a preacher's wife, and Denzel will still sweep a hoe off their feet.
I think that was the tagline of that movie. I'm
the narrator. You don't hear that often in the movie. When she died, I used 2 bereavement days. I was a mess. It was at 2:34 p.m. I was in chair 12 in the Broadway lab at Portland State University, trying to finish up my damn finals. And the Associated Press, there was only one article because someone posted on Facebook, and it was a bitch I ended up deleting because I was like, you won't be posting no negative shit about Whitney. And then I tried to re-add her, and she was like, bitch, how you gonna message me that and then try and re-add me? I was like, girl, I didn't know it was true, my bad. And I remember I was sobbing because I felt like it was kind of like the TikTok clock was Whitney, like,
Yeah.
And I had wrote her a song and she never got to hear it.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. And then they released that terrible movie Sparkle. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like they were hyping it to be her final performance, but she his eye was on the sparrow, but I don't know what she was watching because and I don't like remembering her as that. I like to remember her as like the gift that we didn't deserve. Because the world killed Whitney Houston, much like the world killed Princess Diana, because
absolutely.
We wouldn't leave her alone, and like she wanted to get high when she wasn't on stage. Everybody does it.
Get tea.
She wanted to get away from Bobby, and she couldn't.
Yeah,
Bobby Brown, and she wanted to get away from her mother, but she could never say that. And she wanted to, the church, the building, the church, not God. And I think that if her death taught me anything, it's that I will never let these people get the best of me and if I do, it better be for a hell of a lot of money and a lot of good wigs, because you won't have me going out with my last good wig being that last
girl. True. And they did her so dirty for the last few years of her life, honestly. And I just and I do feel that way because we just obviously because just because we're gonna sidestep into this conversation real quick, because Todrick Hall released the thing with Brandy because Todrick Hall released Brandy Cinderella with Whitney, because he did a music video with Brandy. And then because it was for Disney Plus having Cinderella, the Brandy.
Which I just watched the other day.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, we did too.
Oh, we did too. We watched the whole thing because like my husband hadn't seen it yet, and I told him we'd have to get divorced if we didn't do that as soon as it was available.
It was Whoopi Goldberg as the mom.
I know. Yeah.
I just love a colorblind cast. So no, and I because honestly, when I was watching her in that, and I was like, dang. What you said, I probably even titled this episode like "We did not deserve Whitney Houston an interview with Nay-Nay Leakes
Cartier."
No,
and these cannot be the children she thought was the future, because I know.
Children of the future.
These kids out on the Max the other day, they tried to rob me.
What?
Oh and God. I'm sitting there, ice blonde wig.
As you do.
Shirt with a picture of me on it with an ice blonde wig. I'm like, oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Here come these fucking teenagers. And I'm like, I don't like kids. I don't like your kids. I don't like their kids. I don't like no kids. Please leave me alone. These 12-year-olds are scary as fuck, though. Like,
aren't they?
They are. They have no fear.
They have no fear. Jesus.
And it's like,
well, that purry like noises that they make and crap.
I thought we was raised off, a little scrappy in them, but these motherfuckers, they raised off people that mumble and sip scissor for breakfast. I don't know. We was raised off Nuck If You Buck. I thought we was the hard ones. No, girl, I was on that mess. Yeah.
So let's switch gears just a little bit. Like, so you went to college, which it's funny because like when we moved here, obviously we see what's placed in front of us. We see drag artists and whatever's, and typically drag artists don't go to college. Honestly, a lot of drag artists.
A lot of us don't. Yeah.
Yeah, don't go to college. Really? They don't. Yeah, girl. Like people don't get into drag because they happy and successful. Like
you're depressed and you need to sing your Whitney Houston songs to an audience.
Exactly. So when I heard you at the
Lad, right? Was that the first time that we did because I remember our first time,
the Lad.
Yeah, that was the first time that we did a gig with you, and I really like. You're such a natural on the mic when you're hosting.
Yes.
I like making people. I really do like making people laugh and or smile, and like being. If you can be someone's silver, if my sorrow can be someone's silver lining because I made it a joke, then I did something good.
Yeah. And you were super accommodating too. Honestly, I remember my heel broke during that show, and you're like, "I have boots if you need to wear something else."
Well, because I feel like that to me is like the sisterhood. Yeah. I didn't walk in the dressing room and be like, "Hi, sisters." Like that's not my vibe. That is not me. I can't do it. But if your heel breaks, girl, we can't have you be hobbling out there. Come on, you need the boot. Or if you need a safety pin after my number, I can take the one out of my dress and give it to you because I
See, though, I'm the same with you. I'm the bobby pin girl. I'm the girl who, for some reason, can never buy bobby pins. So I'm always borrowing bobby pins. And there's always that one queen who wasn't the, hey, yes, sis, let's do this. Who's just in the corner. She's like, girl, I have some bobby pins in my bag. Whole tin can of bobby pins. Yes. I just bought my first bobby pin.
That's my bobby pin sis. Takara always has every tool you may or may not need. Including a box of Popeyes, like to keep
in her purse, like
literally, it's like, well, damn girl, what you got? That's Cinderella's fairy godmother bag. I overlive.
Oh mess. So, what did you go to school for?
Yeah.
Well, I went to college to get away from my parents, and not that just because I think I grew up watching A Different World. I grew up watching Cosby Show. Different World is like I still watch A Different World.
Girl.
I am Whitley Dwayne. I'm Whitley. I love me some Whitley Gilbert. I love her style, just like Reverend 80s Chanel suits and like who wears a Chanel suit and purse to college? And in black churches, they always make it seem like they're building some offering for your college fund, and it ends up being $72, and you can't even buy a book and an application fee with that.
A little bit too real.
But for real though. But I always, and I was smart. I was in like the gifted program, but I wanted popularity. I wanted to be like popular. So I dumbed myself down in certain classes to be with the popular kids, or honestly, it would be all the boys, the cute boys. Now looking back, I was like, oh, I was always a hoe. But it was all, I think it was always just, I didn't want to not feel like I was in some way like connected to the it group. But then I realized none of them punks is going to college. So y'all can be gone. High school, I was like friends with everyone. I went to high school in Hawaii. And I was like, if you didn't like me, I didn't care, but I would probably call you out on the morning news because I was the morning news anchor in high school. Every morning at 10 seconds after the 8:30 a.m. bell. I was always a little late. It is what it is. And at least that you can say that that's my personality and it's not, just drag. It's just life. So I've always liked being on a microphone and trying to, make people laugh, give people a schedule that even I can't follow. And I went to college because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. And I thought, if you go to college, everything will be worked out for you. You get a job so easily. Quiet as kept. When I came out the closet, I was like, bitch, I better find a man. Fuck a job. Find a man and give a blowjob every day for the rest of your life. You'll be good. That didn't work out either.
Gotta try it all.
Portland State University, so I got to move to Oregon. I had never been here.
Oh, wow.
And I came here by myself. I got on a plane by myself. And my mom and I are very, very close. And I remember she drove me to the airport and she was like, you are really leaving me. And I was like, we've been connected at the hip 18 years, huh? And it was like, when you think you grown. And I was pretty independent, and my mom didn't really give me a curfew because she knew I had it together for the most part. I was pretty mature for my age because I had been working since I was like 14 or 15. And I kept the same job, and I didn't get almost fired until literally my 2-week notice day. I got in a fight with one of my coworkers. I was waiting to get in a fight with, and so I tried to be like a diligent person. I was like, college is gonna be it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get child college. So the first year was sickening. The first year was everything. It was expensive as hell, though.
Oh, yeah, and absolutely.
My parents didn't, and they told me, like, oh, we don't, a college fund. I think you got like $300 in savings bonds. But, that's about it. And so what my real college ended up being was like life and figuring out how to work, how to hustle, and how to still get my degrees on my own. And now that I have my 2 degrees, my real job is staying under the radar so Sally Mae don't catch me. And so she couldn't even
girl, we actually just
talked about this.
We were talking about how I talk about Sally Mae like she real. Like
she's a real person. That bitch, she tricked me. And if you see Sally, you let me know.
Oh, girl, I will run hands with her in the streets. Like, don't play with me.
She's ruthless.
Watch T, Sally. Where you at? Watch T.
Yes. So let's get on to, we have a few more questions for you. I want to know, what do you think of the Portland drag scene?
Yeah, what's your...
Oh, actually, and before we answer that...
I didn't answer the Darcel question.
Yes, you didn't answer Darcel's question fully.
Well, I'll turn that into that question.
And then also, what was your degrees in?
Oh, I have a degree. So I started as pre-med, and then I went to pre-law, and then I went to everything, and I never got any of those. But arts and letters was too easy, so I ended up getting, and Black studies was taught all by white people, so that was weird.
Yeah.
Except for a white and then one African who was very, very sweet, but he had a very heavy accent and he did not fuck with me. So I got a degree. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Communications and I have a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. My goal was to be a radio personality, a talk show host. That still is my goal. I did get fired from KPSU Radio, though, for spilling the tea on the football coach because he was in the club. I shouldn't have been spilling the tea because I was in a club underage, too, because I had fake ID.
Tea.
And then I played What If God Was One of Us after a trap. It was just
Oh, that's great. I love that.
And I locked myself in the thing. They couldn't get in that room. They was so mad. Memories.
This is such a you story.
And people go, Portland is not diverse and stuff.
Sure.
I'm from Hawaii, where diversity is something different to us. So to me, Portland was the most Black people when I was in Portland State. That was the most Black people that I'd ever been around.
Sure.
I ended up being the president of the NAACP.
Oh, wow.
Then getting the NAACP shut down at PSU because we went and had a party instead of
Well,
I have no regrets. But I was able to like find myself. Mind you, I was closeted the first 3 years of college.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Oh,
You both were like,
I didn't know.
I'm sorry, you got a loud personality, baby. I'm just like,
I think it was one of those things that I had to. So I had my first sexual experience by choice. I didn't like it. I was like, woo, I am not gay because that was not for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure.
I didn't grow up with parents that were homophobic necessarily. I didn't grow up with parents that were intentionally homophobic. I think they were accepting, and my mom was, but like, and my stepdad was too. But I think as a family, like we'd watch America's Next Top Model. Every time Mr. and Miss J walk in, they gotta say, and I would be like, well, I overlay for the outfit, like secretly, like, and I was thinking, oh, and I think that was part of like, oh, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. I made all these friends and all these connections, but I wasn't myself, so I was like getting blackout wasted.
Oh wow!
Like Syra wasted, but in college, like.
Oh, yeah, that's dangerous.
I was there. Yeah.
4 Loco in my coffee cup.
Yeah.
When I say Syra, I mean like Syra, like the past of Syra, not like her current. She's together. Yeah. Like imagine a 19-year-old getting that drunk.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oof. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a good look.
Yeah.
But what it was good lessons, and so my real degree, I think I got a degree in. I have a bachelor's in life and a master's in how to be your damn self.
Yeah, well, I actually feel like college. I feel like college is a lot of people who go to. You can tell people who went to college and who didn't, even if they dropped out, because they act differently. Like they do. They just act differently because they were exposed to these social situations that you could tell other people weren't because they went straight into the workforce, and like they understand how to communicate with people better even in their late 20s. Like you're like, oh, you went to college because you know how to talk to people, and then you're like, you definitely didn't because you are still a mess.
Or how people observe stuff. It's like, damn bitch, did you have to walk up in this Starbucks so motherfucking loud? They saw you when you walked in with the orange bag and the bonnet. Like, I know there's certain things I do that I'm like, oh, I learned that in college, because in college you gotta be cool because you're like and I think that's you're learning to be an adult, so you're thinking, okay, who do I want to be? So I learned to make an entrance. Even when I'm not trying to make an entrance. Yeah. I could be trying to sneak in somewhere. I'm about to fall, knock down the blinds, and and then still order my food. Like, what are you guys looking at?
So yes, tell us about the Darcel experience, but then also how do you like the Portland drag scene?
Yeah, how would you describe it?
Portland has, to me, the most diverse drag scene. Probably in any city. RuPaul is doing herself a disservice by not just doing a Portland spinoff. Because we giving people free shows on Facebook. We want so hard to be like, everybody wants to say, if you're real, say it to my face. Well, I tried to say it to your face, and then you said I was being a bully.
Yeah.
So then I said it online.
Fair.
Like, I would rather wait till you left the room so I could be like way more funny. It'd be like a little uncomfortable with you like right here, but okay, if you sure. But I think I think our community is just we're all fighting for a place to stand and a place to feel not alone. I don't think anybody wants to be wanted. We're not trying to be validated, but we just want to know that we're not alone.
Yeah. And it's just like we said, people don't necessarily get into drag because they're in the best position in life.
Yeah.
Well, it's the whole frosting thing that you were talking about earlier. You know, we're looking pretty on the outside, but we have a whole slew of issues under the surface.
Yes. It'd be some girls that I can't trust. Yeah. So I'm like, she looked too pretty too soon. Who's making too so?
Okay, stop talking about my drag daughter like that. But I feel like
drag daughter that steals. That's the other thing about Portland. Portland, the girls will I call Portland, it's the city of the 16 and pregnant drag queens. Like, that would be the show, because it'd be like a bitch be like in drag for like 2 months and then be like, oh well, yeah, because my drag daughter and I'd be like, bitch, who are you teaching to be in drag?
No, and it's actually, I have to admit that though. I have met a lot of girls when they're like, well, no, that girl's my drag mother. And I'm like, she's been doing drag for 14 seconds. 14.
Well, at least she looked like she only been doing it for 14 seconds.
I've been at it for years and my tubes are tied. I'm done.
I never wanted a mother because my mom is the one whose vagina I came out of, and that's just me. I didn't realize when I said that at the time that that's a privilege. I didn't realize. So everyone's always telling me watch that show Pose. It's a little overacted for me. So like I've watched certain episodes, but the one thing I take away from that is like, damn, we at one point were really all we had.
Yes,
for sure.
And they. The girls was boosting and to go to the balls. I overlive. And so I see some of these houses and I'm happy for the girls that they can find a little bit of home, a little, a mom and all that. Yeah, I just wish that some of the girls took that part more serious because, bitch, you don't need a new drag mom every other week. Or just because your drag mom told you something that you didn't agree with. Or, somebody said something that they're not a hater. Bitch, your makeup was busted. You know why? It was busted. It's not because I'm a hater. It's because it was busted.
Yeah. I don't believe in house hopping as a drag mother. Like my 2 drag kids that live in Portland, I specifically talk to them quite like literally and frankly, and I tell them all the time the bads, the goods, and I will support them to the death because the family aspect of it is supposed to be important. But I see a lot of the hoes in the city who will house hop and like for like that notoriety and that reach, and I don't necessarily love that.
Well, that's not family if you get offended and move on to the next queen that can give you more.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not.
Because I'm a surrogate sister to the Campbell Stars because Alexis is my sister. I feel like God placed that bar in our lives to bring us together. That is my sister through and through, road dog, and so that always. And so I consider myself, but in terms of a house of Cartier, we don't do the fundraisers that often. So if I can't buy myself a Cartier bracelet, what the hell I'm gonna do with a kid?
Yeah.
And I like to be at my house, and I suffer from bipolar depression. And so I have to maintain my mental health. And I know that adding someone to my mix, that means they get to borrow all your clothes. I'm not here for that. Then they get to borrow all your mixes. I'm definitely not here for another bitch coming out learning how to do my lip quiver. That's all I got left. And I can't. I don't think I'm at a level where I should be. Do you want me to raise somebody, child?
I get it.
Not trying to do that to Portlandia. Portland has been very good to me, and I'd like to be good back to it.
Yeah.
But the idea of the family thing, it does kind of intrigue me. And in my head, if I had a family, it would be no punk, but I would be like, not the evil mom, but I would be very like, what's the girl name? Electra? Is that what her name?
Oh,
Electra.
Yeah.
I would be very strict, and I would always be sickening, and I would make sure all of them had cars, so then I never had to worry about that.
T. Oh my gosh, T.
Which I know some other drag queens do.
So, getting on with our last couple of questions here. I want to know, because we asked everybody this question, if you got into a bar fight, what Portland drag entertainer would you like to have your back? And why?
There's 2.
Okay.
Okay. I already know Alexis will have my back because all I gotta do is yell, Carisha! She's gonna come running. But the one I would want to have my back is Poison Waters. You know why? She knows everybody, and I could definitely get up out of it.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. That makes sense.
Poison's a first for
Poison's a first for this. We've heard a whole slew of people. Most people have said Shaniqua. They said Sativa.
No, because all a bitch got to do is take Shaniqua up out of her heels or like push her up. Because if Shaniqua knows she don't like to fight, because girl, we be tired as hell. We be sitting Bitch, because these girls these days, they don't get tired.
Yeah.
They want to. Did you see that video of that fight at Nay-Nay? Them was all girls. Oh, you haven't seen the fight?
No.
Oh, they was brawling. You would have thought it was like, it was bad.
Damn.
And security couldn't separate them. They had to call like the arrest and security. And these girls, these days, you know, these drag queens, they'll take off their wig on you, and mine is like glue.
Yeah, right.
Bitch don't need
it ain't coming off.
I'm sitting there trying to flirt with Trade, and please don't make me have to get my deep voice on. Let me be a lady so I can
Yeah.
The bar fights though. Ooh, bar fight.
Yes, that's so funny. I've never heard Poison. That's a good one, and that's a good reason too.
But because Poison always will pull me. I remember one time. Can I say names?
Yes.
It's not shady. Kimber Shade was trying to take me up out of my spirit on CeCe's last day, and we was all over there. And I'll never forget. She was like doing the most, and I was like, oh. And as soon as I go to pop off, Poison came out of nowhere and was like, Nay-Nay, aren't we gonna just like take shots and just have a good time? And I was like, you're right, we are.
Yes.
All right.
She brought you to
where
where you
not
needed
gonna
to
be
be.
doing no foolishness on the. You are right. You are right. We had another gig. You is right. Okay, you is right. When I say you is right, you is right.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah.
So to wrap us up for this, because we are going to circle back to this question so we can actually get it out for the people. Outside of all the amazing accomplishments that you've done, I did see the posts online when you had your whole thing about being a permanent cast member at Darcelle's. So tell us about that moment.
It reaffirmed my faith in God, for real.
Oh, wow.
Like 1,000%. It was one of those moments where I literally closed my eyes and I said, God is so real. Like it was. And it was one of those moments I'll never, ever forget. And I'm glad it wasn't on video, because I feel like if it was on video and I would have noticed the video, then I would have hammed it up. Because, bitch, I was on stage trying to hold it together. I was like, and Darcelle was smiling. Like, she knew she just gave me, like, the gift of a lifetime. But I think she knew how bad I really wanted it, because I was about to leave Portland. Because
wow,
I was like, I got 2 degrees, over 10 years retail management experience, only been fired for silly shit like a bad attitude. And quiet as kept, it's because I went to Starbucks and never came back. And so but I couldn't get even hired at the hardware store as a sales associate.
Jeez.
Because I know why. It's because of who I am. And I'm at a point in my life where, no, I'm not taking off my wig. I'm going to wear my wig. And if I want to wear a pair of pumps, then you better move as I walk past you.
Yes, ma'am.
Or just, continue to mind your business. And if I want to wear a shirt that says, fuck you, I love Jesus, I'm going to wear a shirt that says, fuck you, I love Jesus.
Yes, ma'am.
Just because. Yeah. Jesus probably wouldn't appreciate that. I won't wear that to the gates, but I'll wear it to like right outside the gates. But it was that I called my mom, and my mom and I, we had a heart-to-heart, probably on the phone for like an hour and a half. And I'm just like, when you're so sad that you're not even crying, you're just like depleted of all.
Yes.
And I was like, gonna call out of guesting that night. And I remember I was just like, girl, nope, I made this commitment, because I had called out the night before because I was just sad. I was like, how the fuck did I not get this other job again? Here we go. And so I called out the night before, and I was like, why did I do that? That was like so silly. But then they ended up not having a show. And so the next night I get there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like ready all early, but I'm not like being bubbly. Because I had made the decision, like, well, Mom, if something doesn't happen, we had agreed on a number of days, I was going to have to move to Virginia Beach. And I was just not with that life, because I don't really like it there. But it was just, you can't pay rent with hopes and dreams.
No.
And so, beginning of the show, Darcelle is like, well, where is Nay-Nay? Where's Nay-Nay? I was sitting downstairs in the guest suite. I didn't know I was, filling in for anybody. I thought I was just guesting doing my little 2 numbers. So she goes, no, well, she's getting paid tonight, which was a common occurrence. So that wasn't nothing out of the ordinary. Sire and I are taking our pictures, and I'm like, oh, girl, I can't wait for this fucking finale. So we get upstairs for the finale. Normally she goes in order, and it was on stage would be Alexis, then Darcel, then me, then Syra. So she skipped me. And I was like, no, she didn't forget. So that, and then she said, so she goes, Lexis Campbell Starr, Bolivia Carmichaels, because Bolivia was there too. She was on the other side. Then she skips me and goes, Cyrus St. James. And I'm like, I was just going to say, and our special guest. And she goes, and introducing our newest cast. And when she said that, tears were like welling. And the people in the front, they were a little shady during one of my numbers, but I won't call it to them because they were there on my big night. They didn't know it was there, neither did I, but Jesus knew it all along. Leon's in the back and he's like, oh my God. Alexis is like, oh girl, this is T. I know that. And I am like shaking as I walk up. But when I walked back to stand there, I was like, bitch, I can always say, if I only work one motherfucking day, I can always say, Nay-Nay Leakes Cartier was not only La Femme Magnifique crowned by Darcel and at the time Roxy because he was living, but I was a Darcel girl and I worked while she was crowned the oldest working drag queen in the world by the Guinness Book of World Records, won an Emmy, got the street topper named, and taught me that literally the show will always go on if happiness reigns forever.
Damn.
Bitch. Oh,
that is amazing.
It was iconic. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Such an iconic moment.
It was like, and there were only like 7 people at that show that night. I would probably remember the faces of those 7 people probably for the rest of like, well, depending on how the drinking like really like takes off or takes. I remember their faces, and I remember they came up to me at Cece's, and then I remember just sitting at Cece's, and I couldn't believe it. And Alexis goes, "Girl, I need you to post this so I can post it, girl, because I gotta post." And I'm like, I don't even know what to say. And I remember I said, I'm not going to put it on. I put it on Facebook that I was a cast member. But I remember I wasn't going to add it to the work section because that tended to be a problem with me. As soon as I add it to the work section, things will arrive. And I got a slick mouth and I was not about to be tamed. And I was like, let me just get 1 year under my belt.
Yeah.
I made it to that year by the skin of my teeth and the lick of my gums. But when I made it the 1 year, and working there is like literally... It's like a dream come true. It's like getting a scholarship to college, to a graduate school that you didn't really sign up for, but your parents was like, no, this is what your guidance counselor signed you up for and was like, bitch, this is what you should be doing. Now go and follow the damn rules and make something of your damn self. Because sometimes it's hard, with older people. And not Darcel, she's like the best. She's still the coolest and she still loves glamour and she still loves like that dream and she still loves that smile and that red lip and all that. And the girls, they teach me something new every day, whether I like it or not. And Mr. Mitchell. Who literally, Mr. Mitchell, if you run for La Femme, you'll get to know him really well as a contestant because he'll be getting you together, gathering you, and then escorting you onto the stage, smiling in front of the people, and then backstage screaming at you. But the way Darcel's is run, it is so. I understand how they've been around so long because the respect that is given to making sure the audience sees something. Put more glitter on. You need titties, Nay-Nay. No, I don't. You need titties. Okay, here are the titties. Okay, now you look like a woman. I don't, but okay. You need bigger hair. Like it could never. It's like the dream factory. And yeah, there are things that everyone can say they're changed, but I like that it's cabaret drag because to me, it's like you can watch RuPaul's Drag Race all day, every day, and you'll see a death drop. And you'll see things I could never do. But when you see Darcel smile when she turns around and shows them people her 90-year-old ass and is still doing it 50 years later, you think, God damn, now this is a spectacle. This is a show. This is entertainment.
For sure, that's beautiful.
So it's legendary and it's nice to be a part of the legendariness of it all. And I don't know what the end all be all for me will be. Probably cussing RuPaul out on like an Oprah special.
Fair.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Or challenging RuPaul to you want to challenge? Let's do a makeup contest. You do your own makeup live on TV. I'll do mine.
Oh, caught a girl out.
No. I think
Yes,
drag's
ma'am.
just the coolest thing ever. And sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta, stop and think, I really get paid to do this. Like,
Right.
True. It's
but
kind of cool.
yeah,
It
but
really
making
is.
people laugh and making people smile is sometimes as good as the medicine a doctor will give them, or better than.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you definitely made us smile and laugh tonight. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed
Thank
having you on.
you.
I'd love to have you on another time and kind of pick your mind about just like your experiences with drag and all that because I really enjoy talking with you. This was
Yes.
great.
I'd like to
Yeah.
have you guys come on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah, I'd
Yes,
love that.
please. I'd love that. We love cross
So y'all can
promotion.
sit there and stare at Thomas, because that's what everybody always does. Every
God, he
time we had a
really
guest
is
on, even when we
pretty.
had the straight man on, he was like, "Damn, he is really good looking." I was like, "Okay, he ain't that damn good looking. I'm good looking too, bitch. I'm gonna sit here in a big old blonde booty."
He is good looking.
He is fine as fish grease is hot.
Oh, goodness. I love that. Well, that does bring us to the end of our episode. We are out of time. So thank you so much to our special guest, Nay-Nay Leakes Cartier.
Thank
We
you
will
for
have
having me.
all of their social media posted on our website at www.agemofasecretpodcast.com.
Yep, you can catch us every Thursday, and we hope you enjoyed this episode, listeners. Catch you later.
Bye.
Ew.
This has been another episode of A Gem of a Secret podcast. The hosts of A Gem of a Secret podcast are Donatella My Secrets and Coco Gem Holiday. You may follow Donatella My Secrets at Donatella_My Secrets on Instagram. You may follow Coco Gem Holiday at Coco Gem Holiday on Instagram. Original music by Touche Douche and Party Favors. You can follow them respectively at The Touche Douche and at Party Favors Music on Instagram. For more exclusive content, visit www.agemofasecretpodcast.com. That is AJEM of a secret podcast.com. Be sure to tune in every week on Thursday for a new episode wherever you listen to podcasts. If you have any comments or questions, email us at agemofasecretpod@gmail.com. Please don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.